What cartel or organization did you work for?
Cartel de Sinaloa.
Okay, now I did a little bit of reading on this whole Sinaloa cartel. I know it's quite a large organization. So what section did you work for?
Gente Nueva Salazar, Gente Nueva Salazar, Gente Nueva Paredes, de Agua Prieta, Sonora. From Agua Prieta, Sonora, and we were located northeast of Sonora, which is a border state with Arizona.
And who were the guys that were in charge of the organization that you worked for?
My main bosses or the bosses of the organization, of the main organization.
There's going to be a hierarchy with any group that you work with. So who did you immediately report to?
I reported with El Lobo, who was a headman for Tolteca. Tolteca was the main boss, but I was working for El Lobo under a guy that I can't mention his name. But I was working for Lobo in Tolteca.
Did you have any interactions with this Tolteca? Or is it a structure where you have to report to your supervisor and then you go up?
I was directly working for a guy that I can't mention his name. This guy used to work for Lobo. I've talked to Lobo several times. I've seen Tolteca once.
What was the occasion of the meeting between you and Tolteca?
I didn't meet him. I seen him. The occasion was that Tolteca was gonna give some money to the guy that I was working for.
Is Tolteca, is he the kind of person that, because he's such a higher up, that the lower underlings or the people that are at the bottom, are you allowed to look at him, or did he have a certain rule about approaching him or talking to him?
He's very mysterious. You don't see him a lot in the streets. Whoever's seen him, you don't know who he is until something happened and they started putting him all over the news. But no, you had to be very, very, very close to him because he was just a mysterious guy. He was a very careful person about his identity.
What did you do with this organization? What was your job?
My job for Lobo, for these guys, was that I would unload cars that would cross through the border loaded.
And what would be the objects that were in these vehicles?
Marijuana.
Marijuana?
Yes.
So you would load the marijuana into a car.
No, the car was already loaded.
So you drove the car?
No, I didn't drive it. Somebody else would drive the car, and I would be on Douglas side, Douglas, Arizona, and because that's the port of entry. So I would be just waiting the car in a Burger King, McDonald's, or Walmart. I would be waiting for the car. So when the driver who crossed the border, I would just get the car, pick it up, and take it to the stash house so the drivers can't see where the stash house is. Because if they get busted, they might snitch on the stash house, and there was a lot of weed stashed right there. So my job was to get the car, take it to the stash house, unload it, and take it back for them to pick it up.
So how does one get a job with a cartel? Like, who do you contact? How does it work?
Before that, I was a coyote, and I've had a neighbor. I had a neighbor who was a drug trafficker, and I just got introduced like he was a neighbor, so I just spoke to him. But since I was a coyote, like, he would respect me. He wouldn't ask me for a job because right there's certain rules, and he just can't step on toes for asking me for a job. But once I'm asked him, hey, I'm looking for a job, like, this coyote shit is not enough. And he told me that yes, and I started working for him, and he was already he was already working for Lobo.
Give us an average day when you're working for a cartel. For instance, let's say there's no job for that day. Are you waiting by the phone for your next job? Are you reporting to somebody? Do you have to show up at a house or an office? How do you get your jobs? Who are you reporting to, and when they tell you what to go do with the
The
jobs?
person that I can mention to you, who is my name, who was my neighbor, he's the one that he's the one that would call me. But Lobo and Tolteca would call them first, and I would be the one who would do the jobs. But me, like, I wasn't allowed to go to parties, or I wasn't allowed to go out as much, because they would be strict on me. They wouldn't like me to be like exposing myself or whatever.
So they just basically told you to avoid going to parties, clubs,
Yes.
and what would be the quote unquote punishment if you were seen at a place that you weren't supposed to be at?
Nothing would happen. They would just give me a talk, but I would be like, it was for my own good, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of hate, and people see you doing good, and they just give you bad energy.
Was there a time where you may have made a mistake or something where your life might have almost been taken working with these guys?
My life would have never been taken because I'm worth some money. There was several times where I got into trouble, because if you're working with one gang or one clique organization, you gotta stay with them. You can't be jumping from or doing other stuff. And I did got involved with some people. I did almost not killed, but I almost got an ass whooping.
What was the time when you got this whooping?
What do you mean?
Tell me about the Rambo guy.
I met this hitman called Rambo, and we were partying. That was the first time that I ever got introduced to Fox, Rambo, and them. It was, I don't know which year, somewhere in 2000, late 2015. Late 2014 or early 2015. We went we were at a bar, and then after that we went to an after party to a hotel in Agua Prieta called Little Sid. And it was Fox, Juan Carlos, rest in peace, Rambo, and other people. But Juan Carlos, Fox, and Rambo were the main guys. So we were drinking, we were partying, and Fox's nieces was dating Rambo. But I didn't know like they were dating or anything, because like that we were drinking and dancing, and that girl was putting her behind on me, and she was all flirting. So I was drunk, and I slapped her in the behind, and Rambo seen that, and he punched me in the face, knocked me out, and I stood up. When I stood up, I had a gun in my face, and he was about to kill me. But one of those guys who introduced me to them, he stopped all the drama that was going around, and he just stopped it. And they understand that I was drunk, and this and that. And a few weeks later, we contacted them. They called me like if nothing happened, and we started seeing so and so.
Why did they call him Rambo? Is that his name? Is he an American?
He's a U.S. citizen that has a warrant arrest for, I guess, kidnapping, and he went out to work with the cartels as a hitman. He was the main hitman. He was the head of security for Fox, and they call him Rambo because he's a huge guy.
And this is the main hitman for Fox.
He's the main hitman, yes. Juan Carlos, he's like his right hand. Juan Carlos, he's the one in charge of all the money, of keeping all the money and counting everything.
So your life literally flashed right before your eyes because this guy's basically a paid killer. So I'm assuming that you thought you were dead.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about a tunnel that I was looking up online. So back in 2015, a tunnel got discovered, the Naco Tunnel.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this tunnel and who built it and how long it was active for.
The tunnel, it was built by Fox and Raton. They were the ones who ordered the tunnel to be built. They contracted nearby, in a town nearby, there's some mines, and they had some workers from the mines go build that tunnel that got discovered in 2015.
I'm imagining when you're building a tunnel that it is intended purpose is to smuggle whatever it is that you're smuggling. So what would be some items that would be smuggled through this tunnel?
Mostly marijuana, and back to the question that you asked, how much was it active? The media say that it was active for 9 months, but the rumors in the town was that it was actually active for more than 2 years. People say that it was active for 4 years, but it was actually active for more than 2 years.
Do you know how long it took to build?
I have no idea.
To build a tunnel and to be capable of building a tunnel where it doesn't collapse, I'm assuming that you would have to have some kind of experience. So you need experienced people to build this tunnel. However, how do you protect the location? How do you keep it secret when you're hiring people to build a tunnel? Because if you got guys working for you, one of them can say, oh, hey, we're building a tunnel for a drug cartel. So how do you keep these guys from talking?
That's a very hard question. That's a very hard question. You know what I'm saying? But me, in my opinion, I don't think those people get to, after it's built, I don't think they get to live or see the light of the sun again. Because if you're gonna have something like that and for nobody to even knew, or like, you gotta do something about them. So I don't know if then people pass to a different life or they still alive, which I doubt it. But I can't answer that. Only the people, I don't know who knows, because the people who made the order to build a tunnel, they passed away, like Fox and Raton, who got killed in 2019. So I don't know, but for me, if I was gonna make a tunnel, and whoever the workers were, I would pay somebody to take their lives away so my tunnel could be good, so we can go running. Because to make a tunnel, that costs a lot of money, and once you have it built, how that was, you know that is gonna give you millions of profit in a year.
When the tunnel was active, did you know about its existence? Did you know about its location? Or was it rumored that there was a tunnel, but nobody knew where it was at? Or was this an open secret where people that worked for your cartel organization knew of it?
When the tunnel got busted, I've had it had been like 2 or 3 months that I have met these guys, and nope, I didn't know that it was active. Nobody know that it was active. Nobody know that there was a tunnel. Nobody know everything about the tunnel till till it got busted, which was shocking news. And I met the guy who run the tunnel on the east side, on the Nacos, on Arizona side, because there was two guys. It was the young guy and the older guy, and I get to meet the. I went into jail for some PD charges in Cochise County, and I got to meet the older guy who run the tunnel. He got 15 years. People say that he snitched. I don't know about that. I don't care, but he got 15 years. His name was Luis something.
And who was the main boss of the tunnel?
The house that it was built in, it was in Raton's. Rest in peace. He already passed away. And Raton and Fox were the main bosses of the tunnel. But there was other bosses, because the main boss of the region is El Messian, Marco Antonio Paredes Machado, so it has to be his tunnel too. And there was, for that tunnel to be built, there was they bought the mine workers from a town nearby, and that other guy who he already passed away too, they called him Tintin or El Tío. He was the main he was a part of it too. But the main ones were Fox and Raton. That's in Raton's house. That's where they built the tunnel in Raton.
So what happened to Raton and Fox and the other guy? How did they die?
Raton got in Fox 2009. Well, there was I don't know. Fox got killed, and I don't know why he got killed, but supposedly they say that he was working for the Juarez cartel. That's what the rumors everybody say, but for me, I think they just killed him for jealousy or whatever, but I don't know. But everybody say that if he was working for the Juarez cartel, so if he was working for them, then that's what it is. That first Javier Rascon, aka Fox, got killed with Juan Carlos one day, and 4 hours later, Cardian, that was in Agua Prieta, Sonora. 4 hours later, Cardian got killed, and that same day, Cardian got killed in Naco, Sonora, and then a week later, Raton got killed outside his house. This is the Fox organization of the Gente Neo Salazar de Agua Prieta cartel.
Is there a cartel slash organization that other cartels or organizations fear when their name is mentioned? Like, who would be the boogeyman of the Mexican drug cartel organizations?
What you like? Do you mean in our state or in the whole Mexico?
All of Mexico. Like, who is the ones that?
I can't answer that because I don't know much about about other states. I just only know about my state, but I be looking to the news and I see. Well, I can't really tell you, but me on my personality, the Zetas, Cartel del Noreste, Cartel del Golfo, whatever, over there on the northeast Mexico, on Tamaulipas, whoever are running those states, I think those are the worst fear or the most powerful, most fear guys.
There's a lot of videos on social media, some that I've seen that I wish I would not have seen, and these videos entail very violent murders, very vicious acts committed upon people where you see a video of several women getting their heads cut off with garden tools. The video of the guy, two men with their hands behind their back with a chainsaw getting knifed to death. A video that I did not see, but I heard my friend seen, of a pit bull attacking a nude man and literally ripping off his testicles. I mean, these are vicious, horrible, horrible videos. Have you ever seen any murders or acts of violence that you've witnessed yourself that you can talk about?
Twice. One was horrible. The second I didn't get a chance to see, but it was what they did was horrible. But we were on another stuff. Yes, I seen.
Tell us about the first one that you said that you seen, but you didn't really see. Maybe you were far away.
I was just we went to one of the bosses above house. We went over there and we were just passing through. I went to his house. I was passing through. He has a lot of exotic animals on his house. One of them is a lion, and I just seen that they threw a guy into the lion cage. But we were like, there was a lot of stuff going around that day. We had a celebration, this and that, and I was gonna go do something, so I didn't pay much attention to it. I just passed through it, didn't pay much attention to it.
So you're walking,
Yes.
and you see a man,
Yes.
at the tied up,
Yeah, tied up.
being thrown
Into yes.
Did you turn your head to look, or were you instructed to not look? How do you?
No, it's because I was just busy. Like, I was walking by, and like I don't know, something told me to look to the left, and I looked, and I just seen that some guy was thrown out. I was shocked. Yes, I was shocked. I wasn't like, I just kept on walking. I wasn't trying to be a part of whatever was going on around right there.
Did the man? Obviously, I'm assuming he was screaming for his life.
I didn't get to hear it because before he got thrown down, obviously they covered up his. I just passed through. I was way too busy, and I was on some other stuff. I didn't get a chance to look at that.
So you said that one was horrible and one was not so horrible. So what's the horrible thing that you've seen?
I've seen a girl burn to death. She was like, there was a pole, like a pole in the dirt. She was tied up. Before that, I made a mistake in the organization. I didn't know what I was expecting to see, but I made a little mistake in the organization. They were blaming me. I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, but they were blaming me for some other bigger stuff that I did not do. I did some stuff that I wasn't supposed to, but they were just trying to put fear on me so I would not stop doing what I was doing. So there was this girl. She got murdered in the town that we live. The cartels or the mafia, they only sell crack, cocaine, and weed. Nobody can sell anything. Not even if it's that, whatever they sell, it has to be from the cartel. And this girl, she was selling meth in Mexico, and you're not allowed to sell meth in that town where I'm from. So since I made a mistake and they already had her trapped, so everybody knows when somebody's gonna get executed or whatever. So sometimes they take people to look at their executions, like if you're messing up or whatever, so they can put fear on you. So we were over there, they took us, I'm not gonna say who took us, but somebody took us over there. They had this girl, we were talking, I seen some girl that was tied up over there, but I didn't know what was going on. And then I seen that they put some tires in the middle of her, and they lit up fire to the tires, and she started screaming and all kinds of stuff. I don't know how many minutes, because it was a very scary, it was a weird moment for me. I don't know, can't really tell how many minutes she was screaming, 5 to 10 minutes, I don't know.
What's going through your mind when you're witnessing this girl being burned alive and she's screaming?
I was scared, but excited.
Excited meaning?
You wanted to see more and more and more. Well, that type of, that you see one of those things, it makes you feel powerful.
So after she was dead, what did they do with the body? Did they bury it?
We had a little talk with me. I don't know what really happened to the body, but I've heard of people saying that there's a part in a town that it's a natural hole that's way too deep, and they say that to the bodies that mostly they throw in there. I don't know if hers was thrown there. I don't know what really happened to her body.
So I was reading that how cartels sometimes they fracture or they splinter, and then people from a big or cartel will fracture into smaller outfits.
Yes.
So why did Tolteca Misa and G3 and other higher ups, what made them switch to other cartels or make their own or what have you?
All the rumors are that this guy, aka Tintin, El Tío, we are in the border town of Sonora, Arizona, but the area that they used to control, it was all the way to the Sierra of Chihuahua, and so like hours away. So there was an important member of the cartel that he was very close to Tolteca and all of them. There was a very special member his name was Chupon, El 020, El 020. He was ubicated in the high mountains in the Sierra of Yacora, Sonora, and Tintin ordered for whatever people to kill them, and he got killed. Since he was a very important member of the cartel, El Águila Bornes and his brother El Topo, they switched up the Yacoras. They switched up to the Juarez cartel, which is in Chihuahua, Mexico, and they are the first ones who go into the Juarez cartel. And since all these people, El Tolteca, Misa, G3, and all them, they were very close to them, so they just teamed up against them, and they were working with the Juarez cartel in Agua Prieta on the low till they found out. And Tolteca got arrested in Chihuahua. Misa, I heard he got killed in Hermosillo. I don't know if that's true, but I heard he got killed in Hermosillo. G3, he got arrested. And that's why the cartel fractured. That structure fractured because 020 ordered to kill Chupon 020 from Yacora.
When a cartel fractures and a new one is formed, who decides who's the leader?
It's because they don't make a new cartel. They just go to the rivals of who they are from the nearest region. They just ganged up with them and get power from them, and they just start going into against who they were.
Any average town or city in Mexico has a police.
Yes.
And then you have the federales, which is the federal
Yes.
police. So not the federales, but the regular police.
Yes.
Just you, from the areas that you've been to in Mexico, what would you say the percentage of the police work for the cartels?
100, like all of them.
So there's no such thing as an honest cop that
I mean, they're honest. They're not saying that they do bad stuff, but if they work for the cartels, it's for their own good. You know what I'm saying? They work together. You know what I'm saying? But let's say that you're okay. Let's say that in Agua Prieta, where I'm from, the cartels and the police are not linked up to each other, and they're not clicked up, or they don't work with each other. Let's say the Juarez cartel comes in, and the cops, they're gonna kill all the cops. You know, they're gonna kill all the cops, or they're gonna give the cops whatever. So they're gonna be united. So other people, other cartels won't come into the region and start taxing food vendors or whatever business you got.
So basically, if a police officer in Mexico wants to live, he'll do as he's told and he'll work with the cartels, because I'm assuming that if he were to try to arrest them, that it would not end well for him or his family.
Well, no.
Let's talk about an incident that I read about.
But before that, I'm gonna tell you something. If you're a cartel member where I'm from, you're only allowed to work. You can't be around doing whatever the you want. No, we got strict laws. We gotta keep our town under the low key. You know what I'm saying?
What are these laws?
Not drinking and driving, not burning out, not having loud music. Respect everybody, others.
Are you allowed to get into a fight with somebody that you may not like, that you work for the same cartel?
No. You're not. In between cartels, nobody's allowed to fight anything at all. I don't know how it is now because I'm not active right now. But before then, there were 24 gangs in my town, and whoever was trying to start a war between each other, they would stop them from working for 3 months. If they continue, they would get kicked out.
Let's talk about a story that made national headline news in the United States, and that's the murders of the Liberon family. I believe maybe 9 of them were. Maybe you can call it a massacre. You can call it they were slaughtered. What do you know about this murder? Because the media in the United States will oftentimes set, basically they'll set a story up to where they're narrating the story, giving it to us. It may be true, it may not be true. Since you're from that area and you're in with these, or were in with these cartels, what's the reasoning behind their murders?
They're not good angels how the media say they are, but the main reason but they got killed is because they were a very rich family, and they would dig holes onto the ground to dig out water, and they would leave all the surrounding towns or little towns without water, so everybody would struggle because they couldn't wash themselves or drink water or anything. They would have to travel hours and to get water because they would take all the waters of that town. And well, one of those guys, it is well known and over there in Mexico that one of those guys, they got family, you know, they got money, and a lot of people in Mexico, a lot of young girls are struggling with money, so obviously they see this guy going to pulling up to little girls and give her some type of money or whatever, and he was known for having sex with underage girls.
So the cartels, they weren't involved with any kind of drug trafficking, this family.
The what?
The LeBaron family, the Liberone family, they weren't involved with any kind of drug trafficking?
I don't know about drug trafficking, maybe some money laundering.
So the Liberone family are maybe not what the news media painted them out to be.
No, they're not. They've had an incident before in the mid 2000s or the early 2000s where one of their sons or one of them, he got kidnapped, and they were asking for a certain amount of money. I'm pretty sure they could have paid that money that they were asking for, but they didn't pay it, and he got murdered.
The people that were eventually arrested for the family's murders, do you believe that it was in fact them, or?
The people where they got where the place where that murder took place at, the place where that murder happened, it's very it's controlled by the cartel. All those surrounding areas, it's very controlled by the cartel. So we just put to think, like, how can the enemies go in all the way, or the people who murdered, they say they murdered, how did they got all the way into Sonora when they have lookouts everywhere and nobody seen it? On the media, first they were saying that it was some guys and then some other guys, and then at the end they just started putting them to some other guys. But I think they got the wrong guys. I don't know who did it, but whoever they arrested, they're not responsible for it.
During this interview, we've altered your voice and your appearance to protect your identity, because this is very dangerous, what we're speaking about. I'm assuming that there would be some level of danger involved for both of us doing this interview. So my final question would be to you, what would be the purpose of contacting me and telling your story?
Before I got, when Fox and all them got killed in 2019, I got kicked out from Agua Prieta. Kicked out means that you can't go over there. Like, if I'm not gonna get killed, but I will get an ass whooping. And I just, like, whatever Fox and all them did, whatever who they were working with, I don't know, that was on them. I was very close to them, but I don't have nothing to do with them. So I just want to send a message to my people that I just want to go back to town and start working with them back again. That whatever happened with Fox and them, I didn't know anything with them. I don't have nothing to do with them, and that's it.
You want to go back and work,
Yes.
and you do know the dangers, I'm imagining, of you going back to that lifestyle.
Well, yes.
And you're willing to take those risks.
Yes, because I'm loyal to my town.